Divorced Dad Diaries, day 14, or was it Separated Spouse Stories? I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. So today we're moving on to day 2 of my 6 days of stuff. But before I get into what that is, let's have a chat about last night. So Dad and I went out to a restaurant, ordered some food, had a couple beers, as you do. It was really good to talk to someone who understood and get to know my dad a bit better and just, talk freely. It was great. I also ended up taking leftovers home. I don't think I've cooked since Saturday at this point. I've been living entirely off leftovers. I should probably do that at some stage. And he also asked me if I had an iron when he got here, which made me realise I don't have an iron. But even if I did, I'd probably never use it, so I don't know, maybe I'll put it on the list. Just low priority. So today's thing that I'll be doing is going to the movies, which is, it's almost like 2 things that I haven't done before. One is going to the movies by myself, never done that before, and 2 is going to the movies to watch a horror movie. I'm not really concerned about that part. I watch a ton of horror movies. But the by myself part, I watch movies by myself all the time at home. I just know that when I get out of the cinema, if it's a really good movie, I'm going to be hyped up, and I could be a bit like a child with a new toy, and I just really want to talk someone's ear off about it. I'll probably just send some voice messages to some friends online. So I wanted to quickly talk about the booking process, and excuse the setup. I didn't know how else to film this. But effectively, so the screen's over here. All these purple boxes are seats that have been already booked. So when I'm booking, I'm thinking, I don't want to pick the front row because then my neck will probably crick watching the movie. And I didn't want to book next to this group of people here that have booked out in the middle. So they've all booked the good seats, good on them, not going to judge. But I also didn't want to book behind them either. This might be news to some of you, but I'm about 5 foot fuck all, so I was concerned if a big person sat in front of me, I wouldn't see anything. So I thought, let's book this seat here. But that's when I discovered you can't book a seat and leave one spare seat open. So at this point you might be thinking, Daniel, you're overthinking this, and you'd be right. But if it can be overthought, I will overthink. So based on that rule, I've gone and put in orange all the seats that I can't pick. So I thought, that's all right. I'll just pick the next seat over. But then there was another rule that you can't leave one seat spare on an aisle, right next to an aisle. So at this point, my options are sit right up front, sit right on the edge, or sit next to someone. And guess what I bloody did? I'm laughing because I feel like an ass. I went and booked a seat right next to the solo individual right here. Alright, hear me out. Alright, so I was thinking, that group in the middle, they could be together, it could be 2 separate groups. They might want to whisper to each other. It could be a couple. Imagine going to the movies with your partner and some random stranger comes and sits next to you. Whereas the person on their own, they're just going to go in by themselves like me, and they're just going to sit down and they're just going to watch the movie. Hopefully. That's what I'm hoping anyway. I'm overthinking this again. Okay, I'm just going to go watch the movie. It's called The Sinners, if anyone is interested. No spoilers in the comments. Not that I'm going to read the comments until I get back anyway. I'll catch you on the flip side.